This is James Holder for iFILM London. With me, I've got the WBO lightweight world champion Ricky Burns. We're in the Landmark Hotel today, ahead of the Frank Warren show on the 16th of March. Co-headlining the bill, Ricky Burns, and a unification bout against Miguel Vasquez. Hope I pronounced that right, Miguel. What's happening, Rick?
Not much. Obviously, I heard the good news last week. Try to bite my tongue and not tell him. He's been a bit hard. Obviously, I'm well chuffed I am getting the unification fight.
Was this the unification fight you wanted? Did you anticipate the Vasquez being the opponent?
When I got the call, I never had a clue. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about the Broner fight. Everybody knows why I never took that fight. After the disappointment in December falling through, I still put in a 12-week hard graft camp, so my body needed a rest. When I started back, there was only 7 weeks to go till the date, and for that kind of fight it wasn't enough time, and believe me, that is the only reason that fight never happened. I've said all along I want to fight the best, and obviously I got offered the Vasquez fight, and the first thing I said was take the fight. They're the fights that I want, and I think it's a fight that's going to bring out the best in me.
Let's not underestimate Miguel Vasquez. He's a very tricky opponent. I think he's ranked number two in your division in the world.
Number 2 he's ranked. Again, he is one of the best in the weight division. But I've always said I want to fight the best. It's the only way you can test yourself. And as I said, I always say that I think occasions like this always bring out the best in me. And I hope that this puts a lot of people at ease and proves all the doubters wrong. Because I've got what happened with the Adrian Broner fight not happening, I've took a lot of stick. But MD knows me, knows I'm a fighter. I'm prepared to fight MD at all, and honestly, it doesn't bother me. I treat every fight the same, but I know I've got a hard fight here, but I find a fight that I think I can win.
Well, coming back to your very impressive win against Kevin Mitchell, then you're supposed to be out in December. I know the first opponent was pulled, then the second opponent was pulled. I don't think it would be fair to yourself to jump into a fight with Broner with seven weeks kind of training.
Do you know what I did say to them? If they were prepared to move the date and give me another few weeks, I would have took the fight no problem. For that kind of fight, obviously you're going to want 8 weeks sparring, and again you're going to have to sit down and figure out who you're going to bring in to help you prepare. And 7 weeks just wasn't enough time to do it. But again, Miguel Vasquez has got my full attention now. I know that this is going to be a very hard fight, but a winnable fight.
Absolutely massive show by Frank Warren. We haven't not yet seen the undercard, but from what we can see, it looks to be an absolute top show. Excited to be fighting back in Wembley?
Of course, the last time I fought down there was against Michael Gutsidis. Honestly, it was just like, you'd think it was just like walking around in Glasgow. The crowd were excellent. I got a great reception. I'm hoping, obviously, I'm going to have a good crowd coming down for Scotland again. So hopefully another good night.
Indeed. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Gavin Rees fight in Broner. That fight came as a bit of a shock to some people, again being announced. What do you make of all that?
Do you know, when it was first announced, obviously Gavin, he's a fighter, he got offered the fight, he's going to take it. Obviously he must have been training, or he must have had an idea of when he was going to be fighting again. I've sparred with Gavin a few times, and you know, I think he is very underestimated.
Very tough, isn't he?
Oh, very tough. Do you know, he's actually a lot more awkward than what you think. But skill-wise as well. And I think when the fight was first announced, people of us saying he's getting no chance. I think Gavin could go out there and cause an upset.
Was you casting a little bit of an envious eye when that fight was first announced? Obviously, before this fight was announced.
Not at all. When I spoke to Frank and that about it, and I spoke to obviously my manager Alec Morrison, we knew that for that kind of fight it wasn't enough time to prepare. Obviously you'd have to go over there a couple of weeks before it, obviously used to the time difference and stuff, and again that was only giving you 5 weeks over here to 5 weeks sparring, which we would have had to have jumped straight into. Obviously now I'm fit, and next week we're just starting the sparring, so again that's the way I liked it. That's the way I prefer my training camps to be. So no, I wasn't disappointed at all.
If this fight, Miguel Vasquez fight, wouldn't have been announced, and obviously the Broner fight's been an ongoing saga that everyone wants to see, I quite fancy seeing yourself with Scott Harrison up in Glasgow. I think that would have been a good fight.
It's been mentioned before. I know Scott. After the Kevin Mitchell fight, I know Frank did mention it in the press conference. But again, as I said, I can only fight who's put in front of me. no doubt if the Scott Harrison fight was announced, I think in Scotland it would be a big fight in Scotland, obviously. But I think there were people, again, the doubters are going to give me a lot of stick, obviously for taking the fight on. But again, I need to get by Miguel Vasquez first.
Do you feel you're a level above that at the moment?
I wouldn't say that. Do you know, I just treat every fight. I just treat every fight the same. Boxing's my job. That's what I do.
I want to thank you for talking to iFILM London. Thank you very much. We'll be there at Wembley on the 16th of March to see you in action against Miguel Vasquez, and wish you best of luck and go out and do the business.
Thanks very much. I will do.
This is James Holder, Ricky Burns for iFILM London. Thank you very much.